Hey, this is Passy from Passy's World of ICT, the guy with the white hat. And today we're starting Python Turtle Graphics, which is, I hope you can see my t-shirt here, which is turtly awesome. And it's good fun, as you'll find out, programming in Python doing turtle graphics. So let's get into it. All right, so Python Turtle Graphics, we're going to commence Python programming journey, a little journey here of about seven lessons, and use the turtle to draw colorful shapes and patterns. And we'll work through this series of lessons until at the end we can get our skills up to where we can make nice little rainbow patterns like this, which will be very good. And it's actually going to use a lot of programming structure and fundamentals to do this. So you'll learn a lot about normal programming as well as making really cool kind of graphic pictures. All right, but we've got to learn to crawl, and then we can walk, and then we can run. So rainbow pictures is like the running. So we're just going to be doing a bit of crawling today and learning the very beginning of turtle graphics, okay? So in this little course here, remember, Python course is on the Passy's World of ICT website, passyworldofict.com/Python. That's where you can go to the Python course by clicking on the Python tab in the index there, and that'll show you all of our lessons and what order to do them, because they build on top of each other, so it's really important that you do them in the order they are there on the website. Okay, so when we mention previous lessons too, and you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure whether I did that, go to the website and find that lesson and take a look at it, and you'll soon know. So in this series of drawing lessons, so obviously not going to be able to do all of this in today's lesson, but we'll learn fundamental programming skills. So creating a logical sequence of steps to follow. Oh goodness, excuse me. I'm not even going to get past step one. I better have a drink of water. I just had a bit of cough from these hot winds blowing dust around and things because it's summertime here in Australia. All right, using main processes and sub-processes, and I think we'll actually start learning that one today. So 1 and 2 we're going to learn today. Built-in functions and library modules. We'll be touching on that one today and doing more of it in other lessons. If, else, else decision structures, which we did do one of those, I think, in the first Hello World lesson, but we'll be certainly getting into a lot of that in some of these drawing lessons. We're going to learn about the red, green, blue RGB color numbers, okay, because that's very useful to know, because then you can get really nice bright colors or any color that you want. It's amazing how many different colors you can make on a computer screen. Repeating steps, we're going to learn about for, next, and while structures to do these things called loops, and they're fundamental parts of programming. Now will we be doing a loop today? We might do a little loop today, actually. So this lesson, we're going to learn quite a few things. You can pass a value into a function subroutine and get it to do repeated subtasks. So we're going to be doing that in future lessons. We're going to learn about the random number generator, so we can create unpredictable random events in our drawings. And finally, we'll use array tables. To get those beautiful rainbow pictures, you actually need to use an array that contains all of the colors of the rainbow coded as RGB number color values. And so that's what we're going to do right at the end, where we make the most spectacular drawings of all that we're going to make in this course. Okay, getting back to today's lesson, it will have a challenge task. All of our lessons have several challenge tasks. So we'll show you something to do, but then you get to do the challenge task so that you can check on your learning and plus learn a little bit more as well. So in the lesson, we're basically going to show you how to draw a square like this yellow one here in the corner and fill it in a color. So we're drawing a square and coloring it in yellow with fill. Then you can draw a triangle by modifying the square program slightly to use 3 sides instead of 4 and a slightly different angle for those structures. The octagon here in the middle, a right angle triangle. Now that's a bit of a challenge. Our students have had troubles with that, the 3, 4, 5 right angle triangles. So that's probably the hardest of the challenge tasks. And after the octagon, you can draw the dodecagon, which if you're in Australia, you'll probably notice is the shape of our $50 or our 50-cent piece, all right? So that's going to be all what we're learning today. We're going to learn how to draw some basic shapes and get them colored in, and that will be the start of our drawing adventures in Python. So let's cut across to the instructions document and get started and get doing the learning for this lesson. All right, so Python skills introduction, drawing in Python. So as we said, they're all the things we're going to learn while we do the drawing lessons, culminating in us making beautiful rainbow patterns. But today we're going to learn to do basic shapes with turtle graphics. So we're using PyScripter, but you can use PyCharm or MU or any of those other Python common IDEs, interface development environments, and still do turtle graphics, okay? But when you're doing it in PyScripter, you need to set up PyScripter just so it'll run more efficiently. So you click on the Run tab up the top and choose Python Engine, which is right down the bottom of the options, and just set it to Remote TK. So it's doing Tkinter. TK is for Tkinter. That's the company that made turtle graphics, okay? So we just need to set it up as Remote TK. It'll just run a lot better if you do that. I think if you forget to do it, I think the turtle might still run all right, but it certainly runs better if you set the Python engine to Remote TK. All right, and that's going to set us up to use the Tkinter or TK graphics engine. So it's not part of the standard Python. So what we do is we import it so that we've got it there in our program. We go import turtle, and that's going to get us all of the little Tkinter programs that run the turtle and do the turtle graphics. All right, often in programming languages, you get the original language that loads up as the base version, all right? Now, I'm a photographer, and see, I don't pack up like a 40-kilogram backpack and take all of my equipment to every job, all right? Because I might just be taking some photos during a hike in the forest, and I don't need my giant lens which I use for taking surfing photos with, and I don't need my portrait lenses that I use for models. I don't need to take all that and all of the cameras with me, okay? So what you do is you have your backpack and you just have a basic camera in there, and then you add bits to it depending on what job you're going off to do. And that's what your program language is like too, because it'll be too heavy, just like that 40-kilogram backpack, if you had every single thing in there. So a lot of times, like when we did that Hello World program in the first lesson, we didn't need any turtle graphics, so it loaded up without turtle there in our backpack. But this time we're going to be using turtle a lot. It's just like we need that long lens if we're going out to do surf photos. So we're going out to do turtle graphics, so you have to import turtle. Now there's a few other commands here you do at the start of your program. Turtle.shape, brackets turtle, turtle.color red, and turtle done. So you need to type those in and then check out what happens, like what color is the turtle? It should be pretty obvious. Where's the turtle located on the screen, okay? So give that a go, type it in and run it with the green arrow. And you should see too that a drawing board pops up where things are going to get drawn with Python graphics. All right, now program crashes, we need to deal with these. We're going to learn about this straight up front because we're probably going to have some of these while we're working on our code. All right, so that code you were just playing around with, change that turtle shape so turtle is spelt wrong, so it says tuttle, okay? So if you do that, if you spell that as tuttle and then you try and run your program, that will generate a program crash. Okay, so we click the green arrow and we get a program crash. But when you have a look at this code on the screen, where the heck has this come from? Because look, this is all you were typing in, this code up the top of the screen. Yet we've got this program crash and there's all this code in there which we never typed, okay? And this really does our students' heads in when they see this for the first time. Now, if you look down the bottom here, see that's our program there, but turtle.py, what's happened is, remember how we imported all that turtle stuff to use? Well, it's gone down inside one of those turtle programs, and this is a code inside the Tkinter turtle program, and that's where it's actually crashed, okay? So to get around this problem and get out of it, all you have to do is see how there's an X here where turtle.py is. You just need to X that to close down the turtle.py program, and then you'll get back into your program, okay? So when you get these crashes and you see all this code, which isn't your code, have a look down the bottom, because sometimes it can be in turtle.py, sometimes it can be down further too in a lower program. So you might have to actually close 2 of these X's to get back to your original program, to work on your program and fix it. Okay, so take the program, here's task 2A. All right, so we got around that. All right, next job. That same program you're working on, which had these things in it, import turtle, turtle shape, turtle color, add another line of code in here and type it exactly as it's shown here, highlighted in yellow, but you don't highlight it in yellow, obviously. But you need to press enter at the end of where that bracket's red is and type in turtle.forward100 and just use the green arrow to run it again and see what happens on your screen. Okay, pause the video and do it. You should follow along and do this with us. Okay, task 2B is, we were using turtle shape turtle. You can use turtle shape arrow, okay? And then instead of being a little turtle on the screen, you should see just an arrowhead, and there are some other shapes as well. You can use arrow, triangle, square, circle, or classic, okay? So try those out, see what they do. Now, here we go, turtle.shape turtle, and that should show a turtle, but we've got another line of code we're going to add in here called turtle.hide turtle, and just run that and see what happens, okay? So that's task 2C, run that and see what happens. All right, now what should you have seen during those tasks? Well, you should have seen that the turtle was red, that it drew a red line when it moved forward 100, that you could change its shape into an arrowhead. And here the hide turtle will actually hide the turtle so that while it's drawing, you don't see the turtle, you'll just see the line get drawn, okay? So that's what you're supposed to find out in those first exercises. All right, now we're going to get on to drawing our first shape, which will be drawing a square. Excuse me. So you need to think about, how do you actually draw a square? Well, we've already done the first part of it. We've moved the turtle forward 100 steps, and we're using arrow shape for our turtle here. So that gives you your first line. Now, to get the next line of the square, if you turn your turtle left, so that's going straight up the screen, so we've got to, our little boy was going across the screen, we've got to turn him around so he's pointing up the screen. Then we need to go up the screen 100, and that'll give us that side of the square. And then we're going round to the left again. So I'm going to turn that guy to the left again and have him move along 100. That will give us the top of the square. And finally, to get down to our starting point and finish it off, turn the guy around again and get him to move down. And so that is basically kind of the design or the plan of our program. And all we got to do now is put in the code to do that. And we've already got code to move it across 100, but we need to turn it left and go up, turn it left and go, keep going forward, turn it left again and keep going forward. So we're always going forward 100, but we have to make sure we've turned the turtle round to face in the right direction, okay? Now, how do you turn the turtle around? Well, we'll show you right here. Carefully type this in. See, we've got turtle going forward 100, okay? So that's where it goes across. Now, to get it to turn and go up the screen in the up direction, you need to do turtle left 90. So in the brackets, you're putting how many degrees it is. So when you want to do one of those kind of L-shaped things where you're going this way, then you go like that way, that's kind of L-shaped. Remember, that's your L-shaped right angle that has a 90 degrees in it. If you remember from your geometry and your maths, hopefully you remember that. So you've got to turn left 90, then you need to go forward another 100, and that will get us up the side. Then we need to turn left 90 again and go forward, and that'll do the top of the square. And finally turn left 90 again, and that'll get you heading down the screen, and we just go forward 100, and then turtle.done will just stop the turtle, okay, and finish it. So type this in and try it out And you should see that this code right here is going to do those steps we showed you there and draw a square in a red pen color because we set the turtle color to red, okay? So pause the video and get that done and then come back. Okay, so anyway, these step-by-step instructions we're showing you, they're available as part of the downloads for the video. So especially if you're a teacher and you want to just give your students some written instructions, because maybe your school bans YouTube or doesn't let the kids watch YouTube in class, or I know when you let kids onto YouTube, straight away they go off and do other things. So maybe you want to just not use the video and just use these written instructions, and the students can watch the video beforehand for flipped classroom, or they can watch it at home while they're working on this. Okay, so that's what these written instructions are, and they are available in the download. So check the downloads link in the video description. But yeah, if we have a look at this code carefully, see, we're going across and doing our first line, 100. But then after that, we're just going left and we're going forward, turning it left and going forward, we're turning it left and going forward. So if we look at that carefully, we're just doing the same thing 3 times, like we're going to the left, we're going forward, then we go to the left and we go forward, we go to the left and go forward. So we're repeating these 3 steps here. So we went across 100 to get our bottom line, but then after that, it's just repeats of left 90, forward 100, left 90, forward 100, and for the third and final time, left 90 and forward 100. So we can change kind of the structure of our program here, and let's have a look at it first, just in some pseudocode or just a raw design we've kind of written here in plain English. So we could make that square by having this procedure that moves forward 100, and then we just need to kind of make the next side 3 times. Now, making the next side, that just consists of what we're repeating for the 3 times. So making a next side involves turning left 90 degrees and then moving forward to draw the side. And then when you want to make the next side, you just turn left 90 degrees and you move forward 100 to make the actual side. So we just need to move forward 100. Then we need to do 3 of these make next side routines, okay? So for the whole program, all we really need to do is have 2 main sub-processes. Sub-process 1 is draw the first side. So like we set up the turtle shape and color and we move forward 100 just to get that bottom side along the bottom. And then we just need to repeat 3 times, making the next side, okay? So 3 lots of turning left, going forward, turning left, going forward, and for the 3rd time, turning left and going forward. All right, so that's kind of a way of looking at the whole program that's going to be more efficient using this repeat 3 times rather than just writing it out as a long set of instructions. So look, if you're having trouble kind of thinking about how this is all working, maybe this example will help you out. So if a robot had to cook a pancake, if we were programming a robot to kind of do it, first you've got to get the fry pan or the griddle or whatever it is turned on and get some butter or oil and put out some mix, squeeze out some mix, zip, plop, and cook for 10 seconds, all right? Then we just have 3 lots of turning the pancake over, doing another 10 seconds, turning it over, doing another 10 seconds, turning it over, and doing another 10 seconds. Okay, so the robot would be basically program it to get it started and do the first bit, and then just repeat 3 times doing those second bits, all right? So we're gonna have 2 processes here, and the second one we're gonna repeat 3 times. Now for sub-processes, we did do that in the first lesson, but we're going to do it again here. So in Python, for the subroutine or the subprocess, we use this thing called def, DEF, to define a subprocess, and you have to have brackets on the end and a double dots, a colon, and then in between you put the name of your process, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to have 2 processes like we saw. So the first process is going to be called DEF draw first line. So our first process is named draw first line. So we need to type that into Python, starting here at column 1 as DEF space draw first line. Then we have the stuff to draw the first line. Then we make our procedure for doing the 3 other sides. Okay, so we've got def make the other sides, and that's going to be turning left, going forward, turning left, going forward, turning left, going forward. Then we'll have one that's a finish, another sub-process which is finish, which is just where we do that turtle.done. Okay, so there are our 3 sub-processes. So start a new program, type that in. Remember to have your import turtle at the top to bring in the turtle graphics package. Right, so type that in, and remember you need to press tab where these red arrows are so that all these lines here are pushed in one tab or 4 spaces in other words, but use the tab key on your computer that's over on the left hand side in your caps lock to do that. All right, so type that in and get it looking exactly like this, all right? Now, if you try and run that program, the green arrow, what will happen is nothing will actually happen. It's just going to say down the very bottom, remote interpreter reinitialized, but nothing actually happened here. And our drawing screen didn't even pop up and draw anything. We didn't even see the turtle. So we've got a list of these sub-processes here, okay? So we've got draw the first line, make the other sides, and the finish one. But what we need to do is we need to tell Python to do the sub-processes in the correct order, which is we want it to do first line, then we want it to do make other sides, then we want it to do finish. So at the bottom of the program, you have to have a list of all the def subroutines that you want it to do, but you don't put the def in front. So I want it to draw first line, then we want it to make other sides, then we want it to do finish, okay? So down the bottom, you have to put a list to tell Python to do those 3 things. So you'll need to add code. We've just got some hash number signs here for comments that won't get done by the program. So we need draw first line brackets, make other sides brackets, and finish brackets. Now, if you run the program now, it should do the 3 sub-processes, and you should see the good old red square gets drawn exactly the same as we did it in the first very simple version of the program. All right, now one more final improvement. Remember we were talking about that it got repeated 3 times. So in make other sides, remember we're doing turtle left 90 and forward, then turtle left 90 and forward, and turtle left 90 and forward. So we're doing that 3 times, the exact same thing each time. So we're going to use a repeat statement, a little loop in Python, to just have that there, and we're going to repeat it 3 times, okay? Now, if you're thinking about how this repeat loops, the basic idea of it, let's have a look at this. So let's say you're working in a shop, and your job was to unpack these boxes of squeaky dog toys. Remember we saw Murphy in the first video? Well, this is one of Murphy's toys that's very squeaky and very annoying. But say you were in a shop and they had this big box of these things that just come in, and you've got to unpack them and put them out on the shelf or stack them in the warehouse or whatever. So you're reaching into the box, and for each toy in the box, you've got to take that toy out and you've got to put a price label on it, depending on whatever country you're in. So in Australia, you need to put a price on it for Australian dollars, okay? So you've got to just keep doing that. There's another toy in the box, reach in, get it out, put the price on. Oh, there's another toy, reach in, get it out, put the price on. All right, now if there are only 3 toys in that box, it was just a little airmail box sending some stuff you needed urgently. For each one, you take the toy out, put the price on. Toy number 2, take it out, put the price on. Toy number 3, take it out, put the price on. Okay, so we're just repeating that 3 times, okay? So there are situations where there's repetitive processes, you're just doing over and over the same things over and over. Now we write that in a program using a repeat loop, okay? So to make the other sides of the Python Square project, as we've seen, for the 3 remaining sides, we need to turn left and move forward. So turn left 90, move forward 100. Now, how we can set that up as one of these repeating loops in Python is like this. You have where we had our def make other shapes, so other sides. So that's already in our program. But we're going to type a new line here that says for I in range brackets 3. Okay, so what that does is it sets up a loop which says whatever is indented underneath this, I need you to do that for 3 times, 3 repeats, okay? So this code here is saying, okay, do turtle left and forward, and then that's 1. We want 3 repeats. So do it again, turtle left forward, that's 2. We still want 3 repeats, so do turtle left forward, and we've done our 3 repeats, and the loop will finish. So in the existing program, just take out the def make other sides program code that's in there at the moment, okay, and replace it with this code here. And make sure this is tabbed in, where the 4 is, and you tab in the turtle and the turtle forward, okay? And you should see then your square gets drawn exactly the same. But what we have done is we have written a very sophisticated professional program here, way ahead of like lesson 2 where you guys are. But you know, if you're not understanding this, just don't worry, because we're doing more of it in the next lesson. All right, so you might be feeling really upset, like, hey, Passy, all we do is put that code there at the start, bang, 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 processing steps one after each other. We got our red square, and now you've shown us 2 different ways of getting the same little boring red square again. What are you doing to us? Well, we're trying to develop these program structures with you, because for bigger, more complicated things, you need to use these defs, these defines and subtasks, and we need to use these for I in range repeat loops, okay? Especially when we get into those kind of colored pattern programs and things that we're going to make later in drawing. You can't make them without using for I in range. All right, so hopefully you've struggled along with this and you've got to this stage. You may not understand it, but look, this is the first exposure to it. It'll get more familiar as we go through more lessons. All right, now what we need to do is, if you have got lost along the way, here's how the program should be looking now. Draw first line should have those things in it, and we've also added a background color here to make the background black. I don't think we spoke about that yet in the lesson. So this line here makes the background black, which just makes it look better. And we've changed our drawing board size with turtle setup width 800 and 600 here. And there's our list of things to do at the bottom, the 3 things. And here's the repeating for I in range loop. There's our little finish subtask, which just does turtle done. All right, so if yours isn't working, just check this. Make sure you've got it typed exactly the same. Make sure you've tabbed here to have 4 spaces indenting, 4 spaces here, and another 4 spaces there for these 2 things that get repeated. All right, and then you should be able to get it working and get the red square. Okay, so that black background, we had that turtle.getScreen BG color black. What that does is it sets your background black and kind of makes it look a bit more spectacular, red square on a black. So you can just add that in like we did in def draw first line. Now invisible turtle, if you don't want to see that arrow while it's drawing, you can just put in a turtle.hide turtle as part of draw first line before you actually start moving forward and drawing it, and that'll hide the turtle so you don't see it. So once you have a program working, we usually put a hide turtle in because we don't need to see the turtle tracing it out. Okay, turtle drawing speed. It probably won't matter on a square, but when we get those big complicated patterns, you want it to draw them pretty quickly and not be sitting around ages waiting for it to finish. So you can put turtle.speed 0, which is max speed, okay? So the fastest speeds are actually 9 and 0. 0 kind of means 10 max speed. The slowest speeds are 1 and 2, all right? So if you set turtle speed brackets 1 and turtle speed brackets 2, the turtle's going to go really super slow. So usually we use kind of 9 or 0. Or if we're working on a complicated program, we might slow it down to 5 or 6 just so we can look at it and see what it's doing exactly. All right, so try that out for yourself. Try a few different turtle speeds, get the handle on that. Drawing board size, we spoke to you about how we changed that to 800, 600 with that code. Here, turtle.setup, width 800, height 600. Filling shapes with color, that's what we need to do now. I think this is the last thing we need to learn in this lesson, actually. So we have been going for 28 minutes, and we're hoping it was going to be a 30-minute lesson. And we forgot to tell you at the start to set the play speed to 1.5x or 1.75x. So we'll tell you now. Oops, forgot to do that. I'm a slow talker, so go to the tools cog on the video, and if you click that tools cog, you can get the play speed and like set that up to 1.5 or 1.75x, and it'll be a lot easier to watch the video without me going so slow. All right, so filling the colors a little bit complicated. First, you have to choose the fill color by having a fill color format and pass the name color of the color, so red, blue, green, black, basic things. We will learn some hexadecimal RGB formats in another lesson. All right, so we just put here turtle.fill color quote yellow, so that's going to fill the shape in with a yellow color. And before you start drawing the first part of your shape, so before we even start that bottom line of the square, we need to have a begin fill function. All right, so we need to call that, tell the turtle graphics, the Tkinter submodule. This is where we're going to start making a shape that we want to color in, and we want to fill the color with yellow. And then once you've finished going all the way around the square and got it finished, that's when you have an end fill function to tell Tkinter, right, this is the end of the shape, now you can fill it in. Because if you tried to color it in like halfway, if you think about that, there's no kind of borders to go to, so it could like color it in and then just keep coloring right off the screen because we don't have any boundaries. So you've got to tell it what color you're going to use for the filling. Tell it when you're starting the very start of the shape so it knows where the start of the shape is. And then when you've got your final enclosed end shape finished, then you can tell it to do the coloring in, okay? Same way we'd do it. We'd draw a shape first, finish drawing it, then we'd color it in, okay? So exactly the same way as humans do, actually. So there's 3 parts to it. So in your program, where you've got def draw first line, you need to have turtle.fill color yellow, or if you want to make it blue, put blue or green, whatever color you want. Yellow works well though. Then just before we do that turtle forward 100 to draw the bottom line of our square, turtle.begin fill, and just as part of our finishing here, turtle.end fill, okay, as part of our finish thing, and then you'll see your red square get colored in yellow, and it's gonna look really good. Try some different colors, so try blue, green, purple, magenta, pink, cyan, gray, white, just to see what they look like. All right, so that's easy. All you have to do is just change it up here in the code, use the green arrow to run it, change it to cyan, C-Y-A-N, see what that does, see what magenta does, all right, and so on and so on. All right, so challenge task 1 is to draw an equilateral triangle. Now what this uses a repeat loop. So you know how when I square we did 4 sides, here we only need to do 3 sides. And instead of turning the turtle 90, to get round here, you're gonna actually have to turn more than that, because 90 only got us going straight up in the air. If we want to go at an angle like this, you've got to actually turn 120. Okay, so your turn value just needs to be 120. You need to be moving forward 100, but you need to do LT, left turn 120. All right, and you only need to do 3 of them, not 4 of them. So if you want to, just write them in a line underneath each other. If you want to try and be fancy, use the defs and have a for I 3 loop to repeat it. The 3, 4, 5 right triangle, that's the one which our students have really found the hardest. But the idea is that you can't just keep every side at 100, because the sides of a triangle that's a right angle triangle are not equal. They're not all 100. See, this bottom one's a bit longer than this side one, and that sloping one is the longest one. So to get a 3, 4, 5, if you use forward 150 for your bottom one, and then use your 200 for the big long hypotenuse, and then use a 250 for coming down here. Is that right? 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, so we should have 150, up 200, down 250, okay? So that is a 3, 4, 5 ratio, so that should work. Now, the first angle you need to turn is a big angle, 143.13 degrees, so you just say LT, 143.13, and then when you get up the top, you don't have to turn quite as far, okay? Anyway, try those out, see how that goes. With this help here for the angles, you should be able to get a right angle triangle, and we've just colored it in a purple color. Now to draw a polygon, because we've got octagon, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides on that, so you're gonna have to do 8 repeats with that, and each repeat's gonna involve going forward 100, or maybe you're only going 80 here, and doing a left turn of 45 degrees before you start the next one. So you just need 6 repeats of moving forward, say 80, and left turning 45, and the 12-sided dodecagon, you can try to figure that out. So the angle, basically, you need to do 360 divided by the number of sides. So if you've got 12 sides, you'll need to do, 360 divided by 12. All right, so the challenge task is to get all of those shapes drawn and filled in different colors, and then you're going to be an absolute expert on drawing shapes in Python. Here's just a little summary table, which you get part of the download as well. And so that is all of that. And Remember, the full Python programming course is on our website, Passy World of ICT, and that's where we're going to be adding programs to. And that's the end of this lesson. Thanks so much for watching. Look, hopefully you started getting an idea about loops. That was a lot of stuff to throw at you with those repeats and for and how many times you had to repeat it and all that stuff, and all these different angles of turning and all of that. But look, you just have to work through it and be patient. If you don't quite understand it today, with the next lesson, we're going to be doing more of these for loops later on in other lessons. So you'll get it eventually, even if you didn't fully understand it today. Don't stress about it. You will understand it eventually. It's going to be okay. All right, so give this video a big thumbs up, because everyone likes turtle graphics because they're totally awesome. And also subscribe to our channel so that you find out when we release our next videos. And the next one, I think, will be another Python one. We do have to make a VBNet Games one at some stage, but I think it'll be another Python one. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next totally awesome lesson.